fantastic ending and a fantastic way to start day 2, game 1.
Certainly is, and we're back for more. It wouldn't be right to not have a little glimpse of something so good. 16 teams, 64 players stand. Who walks out the victor this time around? Would it be a back-to-back? I wouldn't put it past them, but still, teams can wake up. They need to. We need to see FaZe deliver. We need to see all these teams who have these huge reputations beside them find their form. But let's look at those early drops we saw before. This playing path does not bode well for that maybe Milta fight, but what it could create is another Pachinki battle.
I'm very glad you touched on it. Not too dissimilar from the previous one. It starts around the southerly west area. This time we go towards Severny, but it's a western playing path. Previously, we had Milta, Lipovka Mansion, all that area disallowed teams to get to their normal loot locations. AFF was definitely penalized and punished by it. The 2-2 split, they were late on arrival. It caused them problems going all the way to the late game. I'm actually seeing FaZe Clan in a backup of a backup drop this time. Primorsk is clear. The only... Ram raid!
It's beautiful. It's, that's a nice bit of work there. They're just going to get away. Microfry handling the pressure well, though.
Little battering ram. It's always scary when someone just drives in
like
with a vehicle. I'm like, you know
wars.
what? If he flips me, I mean, I do. Craig Charles, was it?
Yeah, it was. Uh-oh. I'm seeing what could be a military circle, Richard.
Please.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Really quickly, I just want to theorize something here, Lauren.
Yes.
Do we think it's going to be difficult once again for FaZe playing off the back foot of Na'Vi? Because it was Na'Vi that strangled them into a position where they had nowhere else to go. They're kind of now with this circle. To get past them, they'll have to run the Longwoods, which Na'Vi might play. They could go across to Sosnovka early. Yeah, take the boats from the backside of Prim and then go across.
Yep.
Okay.
I wouldn't go anywhere near that.
All the way
bridge.
down south, hit the beachhead. All right, fair play. That would be the... But then again, you are taking a chance. It's a damn good, it's a strong chance that it's going to go to Sosnovka, but...
It is still a chance. It could still move
more. If you get that hard
north.
shift, double back-to-back, like, game on.
Yeah, it's one of those where you do look at this and you think the odds are very favorable for that. You're already seeing some teams maybe considering it now. AFF did have such a terrible start to that previous game. That horrible fight in the blue that they suffered was a bit of a shame because I feel like these guys, Freaking Freaks, are very, very fun to watch. They can put up some big performances, but that was not one of them. So maybe feeling that this could be their chance of redemption, can head early over towards Sosnovka Island, hit up Nova, hit wherever they want, really.
That's my only minor criticism with this, is that getting to Novo, everyone else is already getting geared and they're still in the water. There are other places, yes, it'll be trash loot, but there are other places you might be able to come. Hell, come in Island, take the vehicles and go onto Millibase. Get stuck in there. It's full of gear and it's a high populated place to go and, you know, get some really decent under your belt, but they're going to be extremely late. How this will play off against them later on, I'm sure we'll find out. Actually, Senya has company in here. I'm seeing CC just lingering, and I don't think he's any idea. CC does, that's why he's holding the wall. Silence Thompson, great weapon.
Couldn't think of anything worse, if I'm completely honest.
It is absolutely terrible.
It's vile.
Does he have any... Yes, he does, okay.
He's got a shotgun.
He's got 2-2. He can at least survive a few bullets, but Senya's just...
Have we seen a Tommy gun fight before?
Get him. Get him.
Oh, the gun. The gun's horrible. Look at it. It's... Oh, no.
He's not even scared.
Confused. He's like, is this some sort of like wasp going around me? What's hit me for this tiny amount of damage? That nade just clipped off the roof. But this isn't without getting the attention of teams around them. This is not the time to be having these fights if you are Senya. No, it's not even... yes and no, I guess you could argue it is coming in. Senya's trying to back away from this, trying to disengage.
I'm really sorry to break you off. Microfrag's just hit him. He's tanked him up, so Senya's weak now. That was the mutant from... Okay, so if Senya doesn't have the meds to get this, they might rush this building, and he's going to be down to about 40, 30%. He does. It's bandages. The first aid is off. Now he can fight. Level 1 helmet, level 2 chest is damaged. But we've got a bit of a three-way here, and now the rest of Na'Vi are lingering because the information will have been fed.
Where do the Rumblers go, though, on this one?
I think you've got to hit the bridge or hit ferry. Just get the boats and get across, or just go for the bridge, because you know Na'Vi's not there. So if you've been doing your homework, you'll know it's clear. But at this level of competition, you're always going to be scared that the potential of being bridge camped is always real.
I would say the one big problem in my mind is that Senya can just kind of write himself off and say, guys, if I make it out, I make it out. Maybe players are 3. Oh, Genesis, please don't all be in one car. No, no, no. This gives me great deals of anxiety, just ghost riding around and pulling up. Just going to take their time by the bridge, potentially. Ghost Gaming already getting engaged as well. AHQ backing away from the compound. Senya gets a second shot at life, maybe because I'm suppressing fire, or maybe they just felt, why would we sit here when this is probably not going to end here? We need to look beyond that initial fight. We are seeing the Eastern Bridge having a fight. We're seeing the mini bit of a hold here from Style, further back by the tower. It is infantry trying to make the run. The UMP is not ideal. Maybe the 16 could do better, I don't know. The gun's a little bit tough to work with here. Vehicles do make it past, and Freaks were late to come here, so their loot will be subpar.
He kind of spoke in the way that he approached that fight as well. He could have been looking at players facing him directly and coming onwards off of the bridge. Rather than doing that, he waited till they turned him face and then took a few bullets on them. So, you know what? At least now they can't just drive towards me. Should I miss everything, they'll be able to go away and do their own thing, which they do. Everyone banking on this Sosnovka. And why wouldn't you? It's the best play. Unless we get the double northern shift, then it's going to be looking rather good. 4 AM. They're all the way on the opposing side of the bridge, the one that you've just seen infantry move off. In the north, I'll tell you where some of the other teams are. Gen G and Red Canids, they'll be going past one another.
4 AM crossing the bridge?
Rozhok. 4 AM is holding because they don't know what's across there. Okay. One of them, I think, went early to scout and we may have heard the shots. It'll have been quiet when you've got an M16 and an SMG firing. You're like, well, I don't really know what's going on here. So if they have scopes, they'll be playing for information, just keeping an eye track of what's going on. The other bridge encampment that is real is Genesis. They're actually holding on to Na'Vi right now on your screens.
Yeah, and this is the battle over towards maybe Rozhok, I guess Watertown. Really weird fight between Genji and the Red Canids, trying to maybe disengage, get themselves towards the circle. Lovely shot from Andy FPS, though. This guy is a very talented individual. There's no getting past it. You can't deny what he can achieve, but does he want to stick around himself? Lovely little readjust, spots the angle. If that shot came through, it would have been everything he'd wanted. It's not going to happen. The revive's going to come in. And I feel like these teams are being very scrappy, which I like, but it could cost them in the long run. You're looking at positioning here, which you're losing out on.
There's several points you want to look at this from Gen G. They're losing time. And more importantly, you're losing a hell of a lot of utility. You've just committed 3 men to the cause there to get one back on his feet. All your smokes, all your gear, every denial bit of utility you have. Hey, I tell you what as well, I didn't realize this Ferry Pier coastline, VC, AHQ, Na'Vi, Genesis, and Enter's Force, all within a stone's throw one another. This is a powder keg ready to go off.
Enter's Force are probably going to see a doozy, maybe, because he just got in the vehicle to pull it up further. There it is. So they're going to spot that one out. Now, if they engage or vice versa, it may be a bit of a misread from them because they're going to see the players further ahead. Na'Vi, what are you doing? They're piling in. K-Mine gets fed the kill. Pokemon all the way falls out of the vehicle. This is a huge misread from Na'Vi. This is going to put them in a bad spot mentally because I'd be frustrated. They clearly didn't scout it well enough, or maybe just felt the pressure coming in from OGN Enters. I don't know if that was the case. I don't know if Enters Force even shot towards them. That could be a steal there, but a blunder from Na'Vi.
He does. Whips it away from Genesis. Easy for Kale. Mops up the down. Questionable play there from Na'Vi. An interesting run. Not pre-scouted whatsoever. And then to jump out, unfortunately, a little bit too early. Pokemon killing himself. It's risky and it's rough. And it's certainly not without remorse. Circle. She is closing. We'll be seeing where we're going in the next round. I'm seeing Ghost Gaming on the cliffs of Milter Power, all the way down. Well, actually, not even Milter Power. It's further afield, near to the shark fin area. What some people, in fact, it's not even shark fin. That's on the opposing side. What are you talking about? It's just the cliffs below Lower Milter. We'll go with that.
There we go.
T1 and 4 AM Milter also.
Vegas is very far away. He's just on an island at the moment, quite literally. Now, this is where, if we see the northern shift, it becomes a bit of an issue. It's not. Now, the one thing you could argue is some of the stronger compounds aren't as relevant as they sometimes can be. You'd say if it is going to be a military circle, you look towards FaZe. That whole line, that road that runs up is incredibly strong. It can most often bring you the winner of that circle. However, with it having this much of the east and the north still within this circle, this could be anyone's game. But you look at the bridges, they are going to be littered with teams and players. Genesis are all in a car and they're sending it. Now, luckily for them, no one's camping this side. No one's there yet. They may have scouted it quick, they may have not. I don't know what's giving them this sort of courage, but they're just going.
This could be a massive payday for the simple fact that all the other teams, they're going to be lacking boats. There's going to be nothing left. The fact that everyone's already taken them, I'm seeing the Rumblers have taken 2 boats, VC took 2 boats, FaZe took 2 boats. That's all off just around between Prim and Ferry Pier area. Rusty Zera's already on the hillside looking around, and we've got it. We do have the bridge encampment being set up. Will 4AM also do the same thing on the opposing side? Because if they do, they'll get the bottleneck effect.
Surely not. If you.
Oh, they've got that. There's one there. I'm seeing Lou.
They might just be trying to, like, you know,
please
move
do it.
Across one by one. I prefer that.
Do it. Be that guy.
I think that's better. I prefer this. I prefer them falling away, moving back. Freaka Freaks could get a glimpse on this because they are up by the Harry Potter. They are just off, so they should hear these vehicles out. They'll definitely get a spot, so they know what's coming their way. I don't know if 4AM's going to give them much of a fight here, though. Is that worth it down the line? Again, a Freaka Freaks in a 2-2. It's not going to be a clean wipe. They do get the engage. As towards Xiaolu, I don't know if they're going to get a kill from this. I don't know if I agree with that fight.
This Western Bridge is deadly. Because if you get past Genesis in this, what is going to be a dungeon run, the Rumblers are on the hillside to the left. So initially, when you go across there, you're looking towards it. You come off the bridge, you've got a big hill on your left. You say, you know what, I'm not doing that. You always generally turn right and take the embankment. When you take the embankment, the Rumblers are rumbling up there. And if you're weak, if your vehicles are damaged, you're going to be dead. That's 8. No, that's 8 players from MPL that are going to be shooting you as you come off of that bridge. That's a no survivability scenario, in my opinion.
And Ghost Gaming taking the more reserved approach. They're heading around the kind of eastern side. They're in the boats. They pulled up, and they're now making it towards landfall. They're going towards the radio tower. You can just see it cresting off in the distance. McCoy and the boys running up. They're perfectly fine. Actually not too much of a threat just yet. If they go too far, they might get a little bit of a scuffle, but I don't believe anyone's directly in the radio tower at the moment, so they could actually take that one for free if they fancied. Maybe not ideal to transition away from. We have to look at the teams who are not yet in the circle as well. Some still out by Milter, some as far as Shelter, some way off in the coast. This is a bit of a late run coming in from VC.
I love how you touched on that when it comes to Ghost Gaming. The aerial tower is incredible. You just play up there, you've got so much viewership of all the teams below you. Should the circle be extremely unfavorable, it becomes really difficult to rotate off of. They don't have vehicles, but you can't take them up anywhere. If you do, you're just being silly. Moving back down, AFF and 4AM are just going to completely mop you up, saying that both of those two teams in the kill feed have engaged finally. Willis does go down. That's a headshot from the SKS. Out in the open going... Oh, they baited him. They waited until he got to the vehicle and knocked him straight out of it.
Maybe that 2-2 does pay off. And then trying to readjust. We see it centralizing right on the military area. Basically, FaZe, they moved across from that western roadside. They took the opportunity. They were there early. Keep in mind, they were looting over by Primorsk. They had a really good jump-off spot. They were there quick. And actually, 4AM are going to have a bit of a problem here. They have teams behind them now. This is not how they wanted to approach this island. They're pinched. And I'm surprised the Freaka Freaks have gotten away with this split because no one's pressured them at all.
You should not get this res. They've no idea where he is. They don't have another smoke here, so if he sees him, if he doesn't look to the left... Oh, he's so focused on the V... If they get this, this is just insanity.
Do they have any more smokes, though?
I don't think so. Style will now be looking at Forever, surely. He'll have to look for him.
And then if he peeks this a great deal, I think he's already received some fire, though, so I don't think he can freely peek it as much as maybe he'd like. If Forever or ZGG you see him, you're not going to get it, so that could be an isolation there. This could be a problem. Oh,
okay, so what he did was he ran out, he exposed himself, but it would detect the grenades off the floor. He passed him and said, you know what, here's a grenade. See if you can get the smoke down. It was a good idea. Unfortunately, by doing so and going to pick up the smoke, it gave away his position. Now he's dead. The 4AM lose 1. I've only seen 5 deaths so far, though. This is in 14 minutes, Lauren. This is going to be a long game.
It is. We could see that bridge camp coming across, especially in the west side. As soon as they make land, that could be hard for Force to try and make it past Genesis if they have a player watching it. I don't think they do right now, but they'll see him if they make it anywhere close, as Nerf might consider it ZGG. And it is going to be 4AM trying to readjust here, but they've been met by another team. T1 say hello again. Maybe a bit of sweet revenge, and it looks real good for Ada. Waiting, coiled and patient. He peeks the ridge and finds Forever. These are going to be flushes all day long. Now, I'm kind of surprised at 4AM. They got caught up. They got focused on our Freaka Freaks. They got real tunnel vision. And as soon as they tried to move, T1 find the perfect timing.
I might not realize that lose the last man, but if they do, that'll be
first to last.
From hero to zero. Touching it now. The next victim might be Gen G, though. They're coming off the hills. Excuse me, they're coming off the bridge. T1 has heard them.
What?
I'm actually hearing it. I'm seeing the bullets. They're in all kinds of trouble. Lou's there as well. He'll catch them. Oh, my God, they have to run the gauntlet. They've gone past T1. They've gone past 4 AM, and now they're coming up to AFF. They're pulling directly in. We have to get a quick look on this one because they've got 2 vehicles, and Gen G might not be able to go too much further.
Veselotch looks pretty dead here. Shrimzy's the one who's actually caught off. There's the Gen G kills. You're seeing him in the kill feed. That's as they came across the Eastern Bridge. And this is the pull-up, and it's gone very badly. A Freak of Freaks wait, and they strike so perfectly. They're mopping up the kills. Gen G came across so late in the day. They were gambling to come at this point. They knew their fate would be in other teams' hands, and well, it's worked out well for a Freak of Freaks. They've held this Eastern side.
It'll be interesting to see if Shrimzy gets back on his feet. I think he's too disconnected in the blue. Gen G get themselves back to a 2-man stack. The res did get popped off. Genesis, by the way, are holding the bridge. We still have Na'Vi. We still have one player from Enter's Force all there. They are waiting. This is a bridge camp, but it's pricey because they're in the blue.
Look at T1. They're pushing towards AHQ here as well. That's a big fight going over in the East. There's going to be a lot of kills here, guys, so try and keep up.
Profi got greedy.
Indeed, they did. Na'Vi just about doing some more damage. I don't know how they're still standing at this point. We are going to be seeing both sides. The Eastern... I don't even say the West here. It's mostly the East. The West is a bit of a bridge camp and maybe some shots from FaZe. The East is going to be the tough part. You have T1 in between AHQ and AFF. Down below that, the remainders of Gen G. This is the battle we're looking at. T1 in trouble. They're trying to stay alive. AHQ look hungry. They're going to be pushing for these knocks and these flushes so they can try and get some points for themselves. They have 1 confirmed kill thus far, and they could certainly get some more.
You have to be disappointed if you're T1. Outside in the open, 16th place will be the tombstone for them. Rather unfortunate. 4 teams are now inside. Oh, Entus has gone as well. Veselotch bleeds out the wayside. Esther, he's down. Not dead just yet. Could come back to haunt his dreams. Should he be alive and allowed to get his teammate on the res? It'll be Loki, last man standing here. And I think we might just unfortunately be seeing 2 Korean teams falling back to back.
Yeah, this Eastern approach is now very uncomfortable for most teams. They've been in several fights. Their gear's probably not looking ideal here, or maybe they're down on meds. You are seeing a Freak of Freaks falling down here, and it is going to be down to Loki to try and do something, work their way in. And behind him, you've got the remainder of 4 AM. So there is nowhere safe. There is nowhere comfortable to be. You may make it this far using the low ground, but just up towards your top. And this could be the fall of 4 AM. Let's see if Zhao Lu can stay alive. Does get a heal off. Still has 5 to go as well. Does not want to go down yet, but I think that might be his fate as Star was looking over the ridge.
Genesis are getting hit from behind. They spent a lot of time out there hunting people on the bridge, and it's cost them dearly. Profi was caught off guard, and now Nerf and the rest of the boys are falling at the wayside. It comes down to K-Mind and H-Win. H-Win pulled off something fantastic in the last one, ironically, against Red Canids. Can he do it again? That's the question, Lauren.
I like H-Win using the low ground here. I really hope he can pull it off, but it looks like the Red Canids might be aware. Look at that triangle. No, he wasn't. Caught off guard. H-Win gets it, but is the trade coming back through? There is still a player standing. He wants the flush, though. Now, reaching out the smoke. He gets the shot. H-Win! He just spun it around and destroys them. The Red Canids must be fuming.
He does it again. Same team, same scenario. H-Win picking up the points. Red Canids going out.
But let's quickly focus on what's in front of us. VC on their knees. They're not looking so good here. The fight comes in. There goes 4 AM. We're going to see Zhao Lu going down. That was W-Click catching that one again in the East. Not surprising there. The fight towards the isolated building across the road from the military base continues. That's with Ghost there and VC, I believe. As you're going to see a bit of an off angle for, I believe it's Tide down in the southeast side. This is FaZe Clan, quite centralized previously, but they have not yet moved further across. They stayed themselves towards the northwest side, getting a glimpse of Genesis as they're working their way towards the military base itself.
We've not seen too much of this VC Ghost gaming fight, so I'd love to check in on it. You're going to see in the kill feed AFF going down because W-Click is just scouting and cleaning up. The last 2 players from Genesis do arrive, but it's not without a welcome wagon. The Rumblers are in front of them, FaZe is up in the hillside. Ghost Gaming with 2 made it to those buildings, and they really shouldn't have done. That's on VC that let them get towards the door side.
Look how close K-Mind's got to this, though. The Rumblers are on the move. They're not sticking around. They don't want this anymore. Even if they win that fight, they lose out on spot. So they got to look towards the future here. But with the fire in the back, it was always going to be FaZe at least catching one. H-Win was the victim of that. K-Mind might have just made it away in towards cover, however.
Ghost Gaming does finally go down. VC at least lose, I think, 2 players during that engagement, possibly more. It was 2 indeed. DJ Boy and Tide, last 2 standing. Mexi wants to try and finish off Genesis. K-Mine, last man standing. H-Win, no revival comes through for you. Microfry and the boys from Rumblers, they'll be getting ready in the back to make the advancement because they have to get past the apartment block. And that's going to be a difficult one because Lin has disconnected himself from the rest of the team and moved towards the police side, which denies a point of entry and also more angles to make an approach towards those apartments.
Okay, mind. He's trying it. He wants his teammate with him. He's fighting for it too. The Blues coming in. The Rumblers know someone's behind them, but he's still trying to get his teammate up. If H-Win gets alive, maybe get some meds off, there's a chance he could survive, but look at Lost HD. Eyes trained on the push-up as soon as they leave that satellite building. As soon as they move forward, they're in danger. FaZe now need to look at the circle themselves. They've controlled the northwest, for sure. They've done a bit of damage, but 0 kills to boot.
W-Click's in the best position at the moment. They're on top of the hill in the most central of this circle. Anything can happen. It's PUBG. Circle could be unfavorable. A team might stab them in the back. Lambu, last man for Freak of Freaks. DJ Boy and Tide also just at the foothill of where they are. AHQ, CC and Yan Lee also yet to do something. Back burning, back building. Enters Ace. All the way to the top end of this circle in the north. They're on the very edge of the white. They will play it slow. The central area is just completely open, so it's going to be an edge game.
He is. Genesis trying to make the run. The gauntlet is now set. They're going to have to dip into the blue slightly if they want to try and make it across. No, they try and make the mad dash for it and cherry pop, and you can see the shots coming through. H-Win goes down again with a banger from Microfry as K-Mind again left one of his lonesome. I don't think he can make it much further on here. There's too many lines of sight towards him. Even if he gets his heal off, it's going to be such a run of terror, and I think he knows that he's just not going to make it any further, although the engage towards the Rumblers might give him a window of opportunity. However, it may be slim, and I don't know if he can out-survive the blue.
I'm surprised he's going for it because there is a point here where you might want to say, I'll just deny this altogether and not give anybody any points. But if you've got the meds and you K-Mine, then why the hell not? If
you paid attention to the kill feed and he saw the Rumblers getting attention from Infantry, that's a good bit of play. Under all that pressure, he kept his calm. He looked towards the kill feed. He found out, okay, they're getting a bit of pressure elsewhere. This is my time to move. Really good play. And while that begins, Infantry are starting to make it hurt towards the Rumblers. That's another knocked. That's not looking so good. And they're locked in towards his garage. Another nade comes through. That one not going to thread the needle there. A little ambitious, but that one could do some work.
It's going to be inside. We'll see if any of the frags are picked up. Cherry Poppin sees Lin behind the wall. K-Mine lingering in the distance now. You spoke about it perfectly. It could be time to get involved here at least. Removes one before going down. Genesis is out, but the battle will continue. Infantry now take out the Rumblers. They held the apartment block for some time. They had the information, but now they don't have the time whatsoever. They have got a bit of an open trek. If FaZe Clan is reading all these shots, they could get set up on the hillside and deny them any entry point into this next circle.
Oh, Senya. He's just finally come out of cover and he instantly gets shots towards him from the other PEL team. That's FaZe coming through from afar. Their first kill this game. Not ideal for them, quiet for maybe what they'd like, but maybe playing for the slow burn, playing for the placement that they desperately need after that first very poor performance. We have 7 teams remaining.
Mexi and Aitse are so important here. They have to watch for players coming out of the military base. If Infantry are allowed to cross the road and get to the footholds of the hill in a position where they kept and left unchecked, then that's the downfall of FaZe. Vehicles out. You've got to make the cross, and they're going for it. This will be dangerous.
AC had so much of a chance then, but they've actually made it through to the foot of the hill. There goes the molly, and he wants to deny them some angles. Maybe get some nades down, do what he can to control the area they're in. But Infantry are getting fire from afar. That's VC. Tide breaks against one of them and now looks for more. He's got the perfect line of sight if that vehicle was just removed. He's desperate for a pixel, but he can't get anything, and he has to be careful. If FaZe peek that ridgeline, he could be spotted, and now they're losing out on players.
DJ Boy's been taken away from this one, so the pressure relinquished from Infantry for all but a second. Fuzzface is disconnected from the rest of FaZe Clan. He'll keep a check on those in the north and make sure they can't make any advancement from behind. 3 players of FaZe stand in line, though, and they want to take Infantry head on. They need to remove them. This is an objective in their way to victory. Mexi, off angle for now. Bullets will come through. He has tracked his target. I'd see you can't stand still like that, brother. As we take a bullet to the head and it'll cost you your life.
Complacent from FaZe. And now Infantry still stand. They've managed to stand the test of time here.
Tunnel
Surprising. VC lose out on their final player. He's gone. All in the meantime, WClick look more and more diligent at holding center point. Fuzzface needs to come forward to support his side because Infantry are on the push. They want to end what they started. Uber's in danger. Arguably one of the best in the world falls. And FaZe fumble again. This is not what you want to be seeing from these guys. They look cold. They do not look on point. And now Fuzzface is your last man standing as the rest of his team just got slaughtered.
Multiple faults there, standing still in the open, letting Infantry cross the road. They should have been front and center, watching them, keeping them lined up and denying any point. Now you've let them get across the wall. Now you've let them get up the hill and it's cost you 3 of your players. Fuzzface, I know you're a bit of a god, my man, but going up against 3 of these individuals, it might have just lost you this match.
See if he can do anything to salvage this one for the side. AHQ towards the north, being meticulous in approach, taking their time, clearing as they go. WClick might be their biggest challenger, but then remind yourself, a Freak still have Lambu in the southeast. He could be that dagger in the back, and Infantry clan have flashed. Fuzzface still trying to be a nuisance down here.
I want to see if CC can do any more damage with this M24. I've been seeing him the kill feed. I don't know how many knocks he's had during this game, but he's got range, he's got the gun, he's got the weaponry. Longscale try and bait out Fuzz to show his hand. Hiding up against the tree, I don't think there's anything he can really do. Or go for the knock and the insta-flush.
He ain't moving for love nor money, is he?
I wouldn't either.
No, there's the engagement. Lambu gets spotted, excuse me. So that's him removed. Again, the Snakes aren't getting away with much here. So we are down to 4 teams now. We see a couple of shots. That could be AHQ being spotted out. So they've lost that little bit of a surprise element they may have had previously. You're seeing Infantry clan, again, still unsure of where that final member of FaZe may reside.
AHQ held dead to rights. The Groza in hand would suggest that he's wearing level 3 gear, which gives him a peeker's advantage, so to speak, to put that M24 to good use.
This is such a nice position, though. Look at Harold's spot. Really nice little bit of elevation to be able to look down this hill, get the spot, relay that to Ribbo potentially. This could be big for them. Another tag comes in. If they have a nade,
big nade,
that could be done. That could be HQ losing out on one of their players here.
Not far enough.
Trees.
Try and follow up with a second one. They've lost track of where he's gone. Longska now wants to get involved in this one. Fuzzface, again, you spoke about not really showing his face. So for Infantry, they just need to keep track of WClick, and that's why I kind of like what WClick is doing by sending 2 forward, then Ribox in the back just to keep a track of AHQ. It's really good read, but they are very scared and very aware, should I say, not scared, of what's lingering just behind them, and that's why they're on edge. They keep turning around, they keep disconnecting from this AHQ fight. It's only one player. Why focus so much on one player? You saw what happened to Itzy. He looked down the hillside, held still, and then VC just says, you know what, that's a free and easy knock.
The vehicle he goes. Great play, but I guess it is mobile cover at this point. You never know what scenario you're going to be left with. Taking that away, looking for that final player, still trying to find Yan Lee. He is being incredibly patient in the north side. With 4 teams, though, it's a bit of a stalemate. Infantry can't push past Fuzzface. He holds the key to the north, and he'll at least get one. I would bank a fair amount of money on the fact he'll at least trade 1 or slow them down. So it's a dangerous push for them if they are even slightly aware of it. They could wrap on the south side for Infantry. But WClick aren't exactly a team to be messed with already. The tag comes in towards the HQ remainder. He's not looking so bright now, as Ribbo does dispatch of him, and we're down to 3 teams.
Top 3 again for WClick. Good job from these boys. Latam has come out to play. Infantry, what's the choice? You hold top of the hillside for now, but you're not the closest to the center. They're very aware that Fuzzface is an obstacle that they have to deal with, and that's why Buliang is looking this way. I love how you touched on it. If he sees anyone, Lauren, he's going to go for the knock and the insta-flush. Pick up the point before you go down and die. You might as well.
Okay, so the game plan, look at it this way. Fuzzface is just banking on the 2 other teams fighting. He has no idea it's a 3v3 between them. He's just going to try and play that final man. He does not want to be the first to fight. Neither of these teams want to be either. A little bit of bait coming out. See if Infantry fall for it. No, they look patient. This high ground still sits, I argue, with WClick, but they have their backs to the blue. Ribbo. He's in the vehicle, moving it forward, giving away sound cues, trying to bait them in. Low ground
moving
push.
on that.
Two-man low ground push, trying to avoid line of sight. Nice, smart play coming in from Infantry Clan, but can they convert this? Are WClick even aware of the chance of this? They're getting closer and closer to WClick. If they hear noise, they could spring on this one. But look at Ribbo, he's starting to think about where maybe the other teams are. Maybe they're thinking it's on the north side.
Ghostface also is now on foot. He's out of his treehouse and looking for blood. Mid to the top three, and that's fine. For the vehicle, it's good because it becomes a bit of a noise function to draw people in and give the attention, but it's also a mobile cover. You can stand behind that thing. It takes a fair old amount of damage. Gives you another point of entry on this one. Longsker, most center, but he knows that where he is, once he goes over this, he's exposed.
I think they might have seen Fuzzface. They've definitely seen that smoke coming out. It's going to be down to two teams. There he goes. But now what does Infantry do? Is it go time? Will they springboard off the back, or will they wait and be patient? It looks like they want to use that two-man hit squad, but the first point of contact comes in. That's nice play from Infantry, and there's the first kill to follow. WClick now on the receiving end. Where's the trade back? It's only Ribbo to fight back so far, and it's just down to him at this point, as you're going to see Infantry Clan desperate to make up for the performance they had. And they dug deep for that one.